We have been discussing in Yirmiyahu, Perek Chaf, and now we're going to proceed to Perek Chaf Aleph. In the course of examining Perek Chaf Aleph, we will also be comparing Perek Chaf Aleph to another Perek in Yirmiyahu, which has as well a similar kind of theme, and that is Perek Lameches of Yirmiyahu. And we'll also be referring to other Psukim in Tanakh, so it's kedai to have a Tanakh handy in order to appreciate the depth of the Psukim that are going to be mentioned in Yetz Hashem in the course of this year. Let's begin by reading the Psukim at the very beginning, and first we'll compare, as I said, Perek Chaf Aleph to Perek Lameches of Sefer Yirmiyahu. Hadavar shehayal Yirmiyahu meis Hashem Bishloch ilav hamelach Tzidkiyahu es Pashur ben Malkiah Vesfanya ben Maaseah HaKohen Lemor. Here we have, at the very beginning of the Perek, a reference to Pashur ben Malkiah. This Pashur ben Malkiah is mentioned in Perek Lameches. Just turn for a moment to Perek Lameches. We're there in Yirmiyahu again, where the Navi says, Vayishma Shvatya ben Matan Ugdalyahu ben Pashur B'Yuchal ben Shelem Yahu Ufashur ben Malkiah Es Advarim Asher Yirmiyahu Medaber El Kol Ha'am Leimor. He obviously heard that which Yirmiyahu told the people. So here we have the Pashur ben Malkiah mentioned here in Perek Chaf Aleph, and mentioned again in Perek Lameches, which we'll explore in a few moments. But back to Perek Chaf Aleph. Here, the Navi told them the following, and that he heard from Hashem Yisbarach, Drosh na ba'adeinu es Hashem ki Nebuchadnezzar melech Bavel nilcham aleinu ula yaseh Hashem osanu kechol niflosa b'yalem yaleinu. After Yirmiyahu said what he had to say, then Tzidkiyahu HaMelech sends these two individuals, Pashur ben Malkiah and Tzfanya ben Maaseah HaKohen, and they are told to tell Yirmiyahu, Droshna ba'adeinu es Hashem, seek out, be mevakesh from Hashem Yisbarach, namely, be mevakesh, obviously, Yeshua, salvation, because we have a major problem. The problem being Nebuchadnezzar, Melech Bavel Nilcham Aleinu. He's waging war against us, and therefore we are obviously in major trouble. And so they are told to ask Yirmiyahu Hanavi, Ula Yaseh Hashem Osanu Kechol Niflosav B'Yalmi Aleinu. Let Hashem simply go ahead, perform Nisim and Niflos, and thereby we'll be able to rid ourselves of this Nebuchadnezzar. It's incredibly fascinating that here we have no indication that somehow they are accepted upon themselves to do tshuva, no indication in the psukim that they're going to return and they're going to somehow recant from their backsliding ways that the Navi described already in earlier prakim. No, simply they have a problem. How should they go ahead and solve the problem? By clearly interceding with the Navi, and somehow quickly he will, on their behalf, change, if you will, the Gzeira of Hashem Yisbarach, without their doing anything. Ula yaseh Hashem osanu kechol niflaisav v'yalem yaleinu. And as the Marikra and other Rishonim point out, what Hashem Yisbarach did elsewhere. We know that Hashem Yisbarach midei pam b'pam performs nisim and niflos. And we see, for example, the Marikra refers to that which was done for Chizkiyahu HaMelech when Sancheirav, Melech Ashur, again besieged the city, and yet a tremendous ness occurred, and so we are simply asking Halavai, a similar ness should occur, and somehow we'll get rid of this pest. We'll get rid of Nebuchadnezzar, and again, the idea being that we shall rid ourselves of him, even though, as clearly the psukim do not in any way indicate, as I mentioned a second ago, that there's any kind of tshuva or any kind of recanting on the part of Klal Yisrael. Simply drashna ba'adeinu, that here Hashem should go ahead and take care of this problem. Now, if you look for a moment, if you'll examine Malachim Beis, Perek Yutes, you'll notice the following series of psukim that relate to the issue that we just began to discuss. Let's turn for a moment to Malachim Beis, and here in Malachim Beis, Perek Yutes, and here the Navi describes a situation, and obviously, as a result of the actions of Chizkiyahu HaMelech, and of course Chizkiyahu HaMelech is responding to Sancheir Melech Ashur, and clearly Chizkiyahu HaMelech realizes that he has a problem. Melech Ashur, of course, was again in charge of a massive kingdom, and this massive kingdom could easily overrun Klal Yisrael. And so Chizkiyahu HaMelech, the pasuk notes, the beginning of Perek Yutes, we'll read some